Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I want to basically talk to you guys about me coming out to my family that I am bisexual. Yeah, a lot of people, as you already know, like from my YouTube channel, my Instagram, Facebook, anything like that, you already know that I have a son. So I am bisexual. I'm not technically just a lesbian who like women, stuff like that, but I am bisexual. Me coming out to my family was kind of like one of those nervous type things. So I just felt like, with the way the world's going right now, you got new president coming into office. You got, a lot of people who are going to be affected by this situation because they have gay marriages going on. They have like the transgender situation with the bathrooms and everything. So I just want to tell you my story because it is already hard in the public eye to be of the same sex relationship. And in my situation, me coming out was one of those things that my family automatically knew that I was bisexual by the time I was like openly, like my whole family knew this by the time I was in the 8th grade. When I was in the 8th grade, that was like one of my out moment. Like my mom knew, my dad knew, grandparents, auntie, uncle, everybody knew. My brothers and sisters, they all knew that I was bisexual. And like it was one of those things, like I had, like that's my first public relationship. I talked to women before when I was in Birmingham, but I didn't actually have a public relationship with everybody knowing and everything like that. So when I actually moved here to Georgia was my first openly gay relationship, and it was one of the most, it didn't really make me feel uncomfortable at all, for the simple fact most of the people in that school, like women wise, were either bisexual or lesbians or something like that. Like I don't know, but like my friends never judged me for being bisexual. At the time nobody knew I was bisexual. They just all automatically assumed that I was a lesbian because I never dated a guy in Georgia from the time I moved here, which was in 8th grade, all the way up until I think 11th grade. And so everybody knew me as being that lesbian girl who just dates women, stuff like that. So I had my first public girlfriend when I was in the 8th grade in Georgia, and me and her, we was pretty cool, whatever. Our relationship lasted all of a few months. Like, well, I wouldn't say a few months. It lasted a whole school year. It lasted a whole school year. By the time the summer hit, we was not together. So 8th grade was very like a test and trial type of thing for me. But my mom basically came to me. She told me she knew I was bisexual. I was like, it was like within like a month or two of some school being started, she came to me and told me that she knew I was bisexual. And I was looking at her like, what are you talking about, girl? I never told you that, girl. What are you talking about? My mom always told me that I never had to lie to her. My mom was always one of our best friends, and she kept that open relationship with her kids, and I had cousins and friends who felt like they wanted their parents or their mom to be like that. My mom, I feel like my mom was like that with us because of the fact that we normally, like growing up, we had my mom, and then my dad was always out to sea, or my mom and dad was separated. So we always lived with my mom or her parents. So they are the ones who basically raised us up from us being little to preteen and teenager, So my mom, she always kept an open relationship with us. She always told us the truth. She told us everything. She always felt like she wanted us to be able to come to her regardless of whatever the situation was. And my mom always asked us, and I was always denied, like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But she told me she already knew. And so me and my mom was out talking one night in my bedroom, and she basically asked me, and I told her, yeah, she told me she knew, in this, that, and third. So like the next day, she went with me and we told my dad. My dad, he didn't really take it too well. As you already know, of course, your dad, your mom might even be like that, but my mom was like our best friend. So My mom was more so understanding than my dad was, but he never turned his back on me, not one moment, not 1 second. So I do truly appreciate that. My grandparents, when they found out, they was just like, my granddad, he was a preacher, and my grandma was, my nana, she is the first lady. But she was so down to earth. She didn't even like being called the first lady of church. They was just like, they love me regardless. I mean, you know the way of the world, you know what the Bible say, what's right, what's wrong, or whatever, because we are Christian. So it was like one of those things, like, but they never turned their back on me. And that goes for my whole family. It was just the same thing. Like, they love you regardless. And I do truly appreciate the fact that my family never turned their back on me personally. But in some cases, like, that's not the way some people families are, and you know, and that is hard. That's like a hard pill to swallow, you know. And I just cannot imagine not having the support from my family, my brothers, my sisters, my mom, dad, and my family. I just could not think about not having them in the support system by being so young. Like, I was in 8th grade when they found out, so I was like 13, 14. So I couldn't just imagine, because you still got grown people who are afraid of letting their family know. So my family knew early on, so it wasn't nothing like that. I think the most awkward thing about it was actually letting my son's father know, because me and my son's dad actually dated before I moved to Georgia. I dated him when I was like 12 and 13 years old, and he's 3 years older than me. And so within that gap of us, me moving from Alabama to Georgia, so I didn't actually, like I said, I didn't start dating a guy until I got to the 11th grade, and that was actually my son's dad. It was 2nd semester, 11th grade, and I dated a guy. Nobody actually believed it. Nobody actually believed I had a boyfriend, because we did not live in the same area. I lived in Georgia, he lived in Texas. So it was a long distance relationship, but it was a guy that I dated before I moved to Georgia. So nobody actually believed it. So when we actually got in contact and we started dating and everything, I went ahead and let him know. Of course, he wasn't having it. He was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, because you didn't date a girl when I was with you, type thing. But he ended up believing me about it, because of course I had ex-girlfriends, and everybody can tell you that, you know. And it's like one of those things, like, now that me and my son is like best friends. My son tells me everything. So I just hope and pray, like, one day, like, I'm not saying that, because my son, he likes women. Like, he'll tell you he got a girlfriend type thing. But it's one of those things that I always want to have an open relationship with my son and always make him feel comfortable, to the point that he never feels like he will have to hide anything for me, especially if it's about that particular situation. And yeah, so it's just one of those things. But yeah, but as of now, like, I just be on chill mode. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're having problems with, you know, anything, like if you are struggling with coming out to your family or friends, please just keep in mind, like, I just feel like if they can't accept you for who you truly are, then they're not technically worth your time. Like, if you don't feel like you can be yourself, if you do not feel like you can be yourself with your friends, quote unquote, your friends or your family, I mean, if you don't feel like you can be yourself with your friends, then they're not really your friends, because your friends going to love you and accept you regardless of what, you know. You could be like your family, like, I just feel like that's something that could be looked at the end of the day. It's not like they're the ones sleeping with whoever you decide to be with. Your friends, on the other hand, I just feel like if they're truly your friends are going to accept you. So that's the way I look at it. Long as you know who you truly are and you accept the fact, then you know that this is what makes you happy, I feel like it's okay for you to just live your life. There's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, long as you're honest and you're honest to yourself about everything, then you're good. So I just feel like nobody can judge you but God. And long as you keep yourself and God first, everything should be okay and everything will fall in line. So yes guys, I know that this is a different type of video than what you're used to seeing on my channel, but I just felt like it should be addressed. I just felt like I should address it in some instance. I mean, I understand that my sex life or my personal life is not something that people should technically have to look into, but me, I just want, like, my subscribers, my followers, I just feel like I just want to be honest with everybody about everything. I'm like your home girl, you know. You have a question, I want to be able to answer it for you if I've been through that type of situation. And I have seen, I think I got like 3 subscribers that I know of who is openly gay or lesbians or whatever. I know that personally, but I just feel like that should not justify who you are or anything like that. But like I said, I want my channel to be like, you know, you can relate to me as well as I could relate to you, and I could be your homegirl without you even technically knowing me personally, you know. And that's the type of channel I want to have for myself, and I always want to be open and honest with my subscribers. So yes. So yeah guys, so thank you guys for watching. If you have any requests or any questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Follow me on my social media. If you are on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, you can personally DM me if you would like to have some conversation, or if you would like me to answer some questions. I have no problem with that, guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.